Take number 6. This is take number 6. Okay, let's get right in the news. Thank you for your comments on my last video. Yes, some metadata tags and the title need to be matched together. I will be contacting those that commented. The one person commented, and thank you very much. And as far as the other comment I had, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe like everybody asked you to do, because they need to build a news organization or a video. They need to share the video. And you guys have done awesome. I thank you very much. Anyway, so to get into the news. So today there was a bill passed through the House and the Senate, and it's going to be signed into law, and it's an it's a discrimination law to do with COVID-19 and the origins of the virus, and to combat the racism that's came about since the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. So we witnessed a few instances of that happening, and so now it's going to be a felony if that is associated with anything. So that's as far as I want to go on that subject. Racism is never a good thing. So let's always remember that. There's a difference between, talk about a virus and, talk about where it came from, like the Spanish flu and other viruses that have come out of certain places, like, Ebola and the Congo versus, the others, Zaire, different areas. But apparently there's some backlash with that. So let's all remember that. That's going to be passed, signed into law pretty soon. It will affect everything as far as newscasts, and it will be a felony and a hate crime to be talking about that in a malicious manner. And remember, we're all on the same medicine wheel, all colors, red, white, yellow, and black. We're all on the same medicine wheel. So let's keep that in mind. Anyway, Utah, there's not much really going on other than the drought. Let's just talk about the drought for a second. There is a complete drought in the western United States. California Newsom came on yesterday, day before yesterday, whatever. I was really busy yesterday. I apologize, guys, but he was saying that there were record lows, mentioned the Russian River, and I did my last newscast was about the tensions between Russia and the U.S., so it was kind of interesting anyway. And the West is in a horrible drought. Utah's in a horrible drought, guys. On the ground guy, this is me out there at Indian Peaks and a place called the Wawa Mountains, and up on top of the mountain up here a lot, Beaver Unit. I go out in the middle of nowhere a lot, and I'm telling you what's happened is the winds that came through a couple weeks ago, the last bits of snow we had, the good snowpack, it melted them right fast. Just I watched a foot of snow disappear, just like as if you stuck it, over a hot burner, and that water basically evaporated or went right into the ground. The ground is so dry it just sucked it down. Now the water table is low everywhere because of last year's drought. No rain. It was horrible all summer long, all spring, got very little to nothing. So now that this last snow we had, which was a percentage of our precipitation, was pretty moderate, wasn't really too low. Well, with the lack of precipitation last year, this is what happens. That water goes right in the ground, the water table, and it won't come up in the springs. And so that's what I'm witnessing. We got a lot of wild mustangs, a lot of elk and deer that are in a lot of trouble this year. Rangelands and water holes are drying up. So just remember that. Tons of people moving to Utah. We don't want to get into the exodus out of California too much today, but the sheer impact of the mass amount of people fighting for housing that's at a ridiculous amount of money, cash buyers out there bringing triple-digit figure money into rural Utah where people are working their guts out just trying to survive. It's just causing a catastrophe. It's a housing bubble, housing crisis times 10 going on here. Not to mention rental crisis. It's a disaster. It's just a complete disaster. It's happening in the West. So today they came out and said, the governor talks about, and now we got Iron County talking about ways to save water. I got a great way to save water. Stop the developments. 40 plus developments in Iron County. I don't know if you guys ain't familiar with southern Utah, but we're just north of St. George, and we're located by the big national parks, and a lot of people come here for Run the Red Rock and do all this neat stuff and climbing all over everything, and just in all the areas the elk used to pass through. I went up there this year hunting elk because I'm a very, very avid traditionalist, and I do hunt. That is my way of life. If you don't take, that as your way of life or believe it that is your call, I'd be as traditional as I possibly can. I believe the old ways are the way of rest and for our souls. And the old ways have always helped us. We should always remember who we are and, be a part of everything versus being just a, foreign invader on the land. And that's what I am. And anyway, the elk were trying to go through, and there's trailers from like all over the country, people just walking their dogs, and I'm looking at them. I'm just sitting there watching, the elk, nothing will move, nothing will go through there anymore. These people just planted themselves everywhere, which I do understand, the free-for-all with the COVID free-for-all. But these lands are used by wildlife. These are traditional passages. These are trails that are thousands of years old, for the deer and elk and for all the wild things. And there's people just going everywhere. So that's not a good thing. And the developments are not a good thing. The water cannot handle it. Now, let's get on the water in Iron County, give you guys an idea what's happening here. Now, this Cedar City is now going to dig a pipeline to a place called the Indian Peaks. You look it up for yourself. Indian Peaks Wawa Range. Beautiful, rugged, dry country, full of Mustangs, wild Mustangs. And we do have some elk out there. Bless those elk. I love them to death. Hope they stay. We have very few deer left out there. But water's a huge issue out there. And these are two ranges that are pretty much off the beaten path. They're just fantastic. But Cedar City's they got the water rights at lower half, and they're just going to drain that place dry. That's their intentions. For mass developments, for mass kleptocracy housing prices, where they're just making tons of money, just money hand over fist, just bulldozing all over, building house, building. That's not how you save the environment. This growth is not good. It's not good. It's not good for the local people. It's not good for the economy. It's not good for the wildlife. It's not good for anything. People that scream to me about environmentalism, I look at them and say, you know what happened to the environment? People that just make mass monies off people moving to areas. They just suck it up. They're just developing big, massive subdivisions, and we don't need this type of stuff. We really don't. We don't. We could do more organized developments and put everything on. Just stop it all. Stop it all. We should have everything organized, the water first, and then go forward. But that's just my take on this, and it's not going to stop because the money's there. That's it. Okay, so on to the news. On to the rest of the news. So we'll get into the CDC, FDA lifts pause on using Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine, add a safety warning. Not going to go into that. I wish we could talk, but we can't. Ghislaine Maxwell pleads not guilty to new charges. Yeah, I don't think that's. Yeah, I've seen a few things about her. I really, my opinion of that is, she's been doing some pretty crazy stuff. Anyway, my 2005 or 4 computer just froze. Afghanistan withdrawal 3.0. Should we let's go to RT. You guys like RT? I'm going to go to RT, see what they got to say. Okay, RT, they got Afghanistan withdrawal 3.0. Yeah, I have to actually turn the volume up on this. I like to watch RT's Russia Today television, and you know what? You have to cover the news. The news covers everything. You have to look at every angle, including RT television, Al Jazeera, the U.S. CNN, and Fox. So,
after 20 years of this, the Taliban remains in control of the country, a country that, let's face it, has fended off invaders for almost 2,000 years. And they seem to have done that again. So we're going to have...
Okay. This was just talked about in RT. I'm just saying, sometimes a rock in the pond, thrown makes a ripple and it just spreads. So they're talking about the exact same thing. 2,000 years this has been going on. The wars in Afghanistan never get anywhere. Never. Empires go to Afghanistan to die. Okay? So
some long conversations today with some folks who really understand the depth of this story and who can give us a lot of insight into what is happening there, into why the U.S. is leaving, and ultimately what will that mean for Afghanistan moving forward.
Okay, the reason why we went there is because a guy in a cave orchestrated the second largest attack in U.S. history. Next to Pearl Harbor, and then this. That's why a guy orchestrated that. on dialysis, kidney failure. Just saying. Just saying. Not being mean. Fair use anyway. I'm using this RT deal. They're talking about exactly the same thing. We're pulling out of Afghanistan, and if anybody kind of just thinks about it, $14 trillion, $14 trillion in the wars in the Middle East. For what? I mean, the babies were thrown out of incubators. It didn't happen. Didn't happen. The weapons of mass destruction, they weren't there. You know, the Taliban, we've been bombing goat herders for the past 14, 15, what years? We've been bombing goat herders. These people cannot be conquered. They can't. It's never happened in history. For what? Endless wars, mass amounts of money, private contractors, mass amounts of just everything thrown every direction, tons of money being made, U.S. soldiers dying, servicemen damaged for life. You know, my dad was a Vietnam vet, and my dad never left Vietnam, just to tell you. He never left Vietnam. And what we got back from my dad, from what I understand, before he left for Vietnam, my dad came back somebody else. You know, a part of my father died there. You know, that's pretty traumatic for a kid. You know, Vietnam affected me in my life in ways that nobody would know except for someone like me that has a father that fought in that damn war and came back with problems. So this war, the kids now, their fathers and mothers have fought in these wars, and you know, it always has a human toll. It has a toll beyond what can be explained unless you're there or by the children of those that were there. We all suffered in these damn wars, and this war needs to end. Finally, they're getting it together. I would say my personal opinion is we're broke, busted. You know, the wealth is gone, guys. That's 14 trillion with a T, with a T. So, you know, how do you fix that? How do you make $14 trillion to pay back for the wars that we just wasted in the Middle East? And what have we done? We had a knife shoved up Gaddafi's rear end. We destroyed Tripoli, one of the greatest cities, from what I've seen, that existed in modern eras. People loved Gaddafi. He'd have to go on a motorcade with 50, 60 armed guards and behind a bulletproof glass driving down Tripoli. He's just driving down the road like this. I love you guys. We killed him. We came, he saw, he died. That's what was explained by Hillary Clinton. So you got to think about that. We came, we saw, he died. Gaddafi sat there and said, you're next to the other Middle Eastern leaders, including Syria. And, I can't remember his name. He was laughing. On television, on an interview with all the Middle Eastern leaders. And he laughed. Look what happened in Syria. So, this isn't anti-American. This is anti-corruption. Okay? We had no reason to be there. We had no reason to fund anything or moderate rebels in Syria. We had no reason. We had no reason to overthrow Gaddafi. We had no reason. None. We had no reason to invade Iraq. Unless you could find the babies that were thrown out of incubators was admitted as a lie. And unless you can find the weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist. Now, if they do exist, let's see it. Let's see the proof. We're talking about UFOs. That's been coming out now. They're finally admitting there's UFOs, even though we know they've been UFOs since the very beginning. We've seen UFOs. So if you have the proof on the reason why we went to these wars, just let me know, because I'd like to see the actual proof from what was told for these Middle Eastern wars. The wars were over oil. The wars were over mass amounts of money being thrown in private contractors' hands. The money was thrown in for Halliburton to produce the food. It was in, you know, all the different companies that were making all the money off the wars, off the supplying everything to the troops. I just don't get it. And the American public were burning cities and getting pissed off, and you know, all this stuff happening when we should be going to and doing that over the fact that we've killed 1 million people in the Middle East. We've caused a massive refugee problem through the UK and Europe. We've caused a massive refugee problem into America due to this. Due to foreign wars for what? The oil. Okay, oil is $5 a gallon for gasoline made from oil. I don't really understand where that actually helped us. Didn't help us. And now we're going to do the Green New Deal. You're going to have a Tesla car with the battery burns for 4 hours straight. That's going to be loads of fun. Can't wait. So, just to put that all in perspective, the bear is now in the Middle East. You guys don't know who the bear is, right? That's Russia. The bear is in Syria, and they're there to stay. They're going to make sure the Syrians are okay. They got tired of this and they jumped in. So the bear has not been conquered in history. You can't go to Russia and conquer them. You can't go to Afghanistan and conquer them. You can throw everything you got at Afghanistan. You're bombing a bunch of dead hills that's been bombed through the 80s with more weapons and heavy bombs than we could ever throw at it now. The Russians dropped just so much ordnance on that place. Looks like the moon. Okay? For what? Guys hiding in caves. Okay. I understand. Hey, there's conflict everywhere. I get that. I understand that. I understand it. But why is the public not upset about that? Where's my $14 trillion you blew? Well, because the old people that did this, the people are now old and decrepit, don't matter. But the soldiers do that were there, and the children that suffered through those damn wars. And the Taliban's still in control. Just never going to change. We don't worry about that anymore. We should, if they came out of the Taliban and said, okay, we're going to attack the Taliban directly, we're not going to do another Vietnam. We did another Vietnam. We're going to invade Iraq 2.0. First, Bush was like, we're just going to go and blow up Baghdad and take out these, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. And we just backed out. Okay, then now, well, guess what? We went and did a 2.0 with his son, and we just keep electing these same leaders over and over again. We had Barack Obama, and now we got Joe Biden. And just elected. We should have been under Clinton. We should have took Hillary because we had Bill, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Just think about that for a minute. Who are we going to elect for president? Oh, let's elect Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton. Nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. The funny thing about Joe Biden is he was the vice president during the DAPL protest where Native Americans and their supporters were beaten. They were sprayed with freezing water and freezing temperatures for lighting fires trying to stay warm. They were hit with exploding munitions. They were strip searched in jailhouses, beaten with clubs, rounded up on Sioux Treaty land. It's still never been paid for. Called unceded Sioux territory. You can look it up. It was taken by the Army Corps of Engineers for flood control. They haven't accepted the money. It was still Sioux land, Standing Rock, Res. We watched private security use dogs on Native Americans they're supported. Okay, private land. Well, the land was actually unceded Sioux Treaty land. All that area was. And Joe Biden was the vice president during all this. I'm just saying. Just saying, guys. If you support Joe Biden, what was he doing during DAPL? I mean, the indigenous population of America has been treated worse. Way, way worse than anybody. Nobody holds a candle to that. Nobody. You just can't. You can tell me all kinds of stuff, but treaties are the most sacred. It's the supreme law of the land. Look it up in the Constitution. Okay, treaties are the supreme law of the land of the Constitution. We broke them. We broke them, guys. But my point is, Joe Biden was involved in all this. He wasn't putting a stop to it. Vice President of the United States wasn't saying, I'm done. No, you're not doing this. We keep doing the same thing over and over again. We keep doing the same thing just over and over again. Anyway, so the deal with this is we're pulling out of Iraq, or pulling out of Afghanistan 2.0, 3.0, which is great. We need to do that. That should be completely done yesterday. We just spent the same amount as we did in the wars in Iraq, guys, since the COVID-19 outbreak. The largest theft of debt dollars in the history of the world has happened since the COVID-19 outbreak. Think about that. It's 14 trillion. That's my opinion from what I've seen. The very first relief bills, Wall Street bailing out the cruise ships, the airports, which, by the way, we're going to give them a bunch more money to rebuild their airports for them. We bailed them out. We bailed them all out. We bailed it all. And I'm going through this and I see nothing, lo and behold, about the British warships that are heading towards Black Sea. Anybody? Let's go through this. Capitol riots, CNN. Nope. Joe Biden told Turkish president he's planning to recognize Armenian genocide. That's a stretch. Hey, Joe, there's an American genocide. You were a part of one of the fights against the native peoples just in 2016, 15. It was 15 or 16. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, there's tornadoes possible. 70 million people under threat of tornadoes, destructive winds, and hail. If you live in Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Florida, anywhere, Alabama, that area, you should be ready for tornadoes. SpaceX rockets carrying 4 astronauts launched from Florida. Russia just pulled out of ISIS, by the way. The space station, not the terrorist organization. Love how those all work together, right? Arizona GOP struggling to justify bill that would purge early voting list. Sorry. Look at the computer. Early voting list. Don't care. I understand. I do. Yesterday I brought up, day before I brought up the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I brought up Captain America. He's holding the Captain America shield. Yesterday, Gavin Newsom talked about the massive flooding, and he was on stand there talking about the Russian River. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying, guys. Okay. This is a video. Google Earth's new time-lapse feature shows 40 years of climate change in just seconds. That's awesome. That's awesome. Soldier arrested after a video shows him pushing a black man. Heard some stuff on that. Don't want to say anything. Just saying. Makes you afraid to talk about stuff, right? Yep. Yeah, I see nothing about Russian or British warships. Nothing. Nothing. Headed towards the Black Sea right now, where Biden had them turn around, the U.S. warships. So let's go to Fox. Let's check this out, right? I was already on this. Take like 5, by the way, tonight, guys. Really rough night. You guys are awesome. Kevin. Okay. Well, he's in more hot water. Okay. I don't care. Nothing. 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 Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Brad Paisley. Don't care. Okay. Fox is, pretty good. Warships, guys. Warships. Nothing. Okay, nothing. Do you guys know how the war is going in Afghanistan? We're pulling equipment out. Just saying. Remember last time we pulled out of Iraq where all that equipment, the equipment we had there went? Build ISIS, right? ISIS ended up with it. Just saying. I mean, the Iraqi army got a bunch of it and they got blew up. So yeah, that's just my point, It's just this newscast. I need to do an actual newscast time to time on the actual news, and some days I just want to sit here and rant and rave. If you guys liked my video last time, I appreciate it. I really do. You guys are awesome. So what's another topic we can get into? Oh, let's see. It's late. Looks like it's about 8:43. I'm on take number 5. Funny 45 News Utah. So if you guys have an idea, let me know. Please hit me up. Send me something you want a topic discussed. I'll try to do my research. Usually it takes about an hour, 2 hours to put together a newscast. Tonight I did not. My sheets are blank. Look at that. Nothing happening. Nothing. So, drawing a blank. Just drawing a blank. Just trying to figure it out. Just trying to figure out what I'm going to talk about tonight. That's the main thing is going to be, I was going to talk about the drought in the western United States. Yes, that was one thing we covered. I just wish it was different. I don't want to get into voting laws. Not too concerned about that. So we'll go ahead and move on, I guess. There was some news that I seen that I was listening to yesterday, but I was actually busy working, so I didn't really get enough time to write down notes and try to keep that up to date for you guys and put together a story tonight. But next time I will do my homework and try to do better. Tomorrow I'm actually going looking for elk antlers. Gonna do some fishing on the Beaver Unit north of Cedar City. Awesome place. You guys got to see the Beaver Unit. Just fantastic, rugged area. Beautiful place. Don't screw it up if you go there. Please just take your trash out. Try not to go, build a big camp and big fires. Remember, we're in an extreme drought here. I'd recommend going to Beaver. Don't go to Otter Creek if you're gonna go fish anywhere in southern Utah. Otter Creek's fishing sucks. I went there last weekend and we caught one. It was one fish all day off the shore. They did a netting to test it. Just a 12-inch fish in it. They from last year's stocking. They just really bombarded it with the COVID fishing spree that's been going on. I can't think of a single place to give you guys advice where to fish if you're going to come fishing right now. I also have my Western States Outdoors is my other outdoor channel. Had a bear encounter. You guys check that out. So I'm the kind of guy that's out there in the middle of nowhere hunting all the time and fishing. But if you get a chance, I'd say Cedar Breaks when it opens up, and the road right now to Cedar Breaks is closed. As soon as it opens up, go check out Cedar Breaks. Just remember, there's deer in the canyon. If you're coming down in the evening time, be careful for those deer because the deer are very important. Just don't run your car off the road. Just be wary of the deer in Cedar Canyon. Bryce Canyon, where they're delivered a few weeks ago. I got to go back over next week and deliver ice cream to them. Ruby's Inn Campground. Great place to visit. You got to check out Bryce. I'm not pimping out the national parks. I'm not trying to pimp out 1 million people to come to Utah because believe me, we already have 1 million people coming to Utah constantly. But you guys that watch this cast, you need to get out there and check it out, guys. You come to Utah, check it out. Remember, public lands, if you have OnX mapping, I will just stand with OnX mapping. Get it. It's like $23 a year. Gives you your location. You download the map prior to going. You need to know where your public land areas are. The BLM lands are your lands. You have the right to be there. There's certain restrictions on certain parts of public land. Let's hope it stays that way. That just certain restrictions. Your forest, U.S. Forest Service lands, Dixie National Forest. The name Dixie, it raised a lot of feathers. I know, I understand that, guys. Believe me, we fought in the South. I got native DNA from there, my ancestors. There's a lot. My family's been involved in every major war that America's ever been since the beginning and prior. So, Dixie National Forest, so get the OnX mapping so you have that mapping. You can look at it. You know where the boundaries are. Know where you're at, what you can do. Okay, where you can go on your public lands, your forest lands. And get out there and enjoy them. Enjoy them. A lot of rock hounding, guys. Check this out. This is stuff from west of Utah, the Walla Walla Mountain Range. Look at that. Fantastic quartz crystals, agglomeration. Fantastic stuff. You can also find quartz like this. It's more of a conglomeration, clear quartz. There is smoky quartz north of it's on the Walla Range, west of Beaver, Utah. You can look it up. There is a public rock hounding area. It does have smoky quartz crystal. You want to take a great adventure, make sure you have water, make sure everybody knows where you're at, have a mapping system. The roads are pretty nasty as far as popping tires. You should have a good SUV and great tires on and a spare at all times. Please have a spare with water, blankets. It's going to get cold. Sunday, storm's supposed to hit. We got 30 to 40 mile an hour winds predicted through Utah next couple days. Monday, there's an inch of snow expected. So remember, our temperatures here can go from nice and warm, 50s, 60s, down to 40s and 30s like that. So be really careful if you do go out there. If not plan a vacation, check out that area I was telling you about. Great area west of Beaver, Utah. You can find it. Look up the rock hounding areas and check this out. You have a great time. Remember, claimed areas. Got mineral claims. You do not have the right to pick it. Also, like looking for agate, which is jasper, it's called chalcedony. This is chalcedony. You find all kinds of chalcedony, and I'm going to pull up the big rock, guys. This is the blue rock. This is blue stone, sacred stone. This is blue chalcedony agate. Awesome stuff. Huge, guys. Love this rock. This is a find. I will not tell you where that is unless you guys subscribe and get to be my good friends. I will point you in the direction of this. This is very valuable stuff. Awesome, sacred blue stone. That's my beloved, huge sacred stone. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is the most I can get out tonight for you. I'd like to cover other topics and other shows. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, let your friends know. Hopefully they won't take offense to this and I don't get death threats. But remember, you have to cause a ruffle, get people to sometimes not like you, to become exposed, and to actually get people to view your channel. And that is my main purpose in life. And my calling is to get this going. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. And I'll talk to you next time. I'll probably get some videos up. Western States Outdoors too. Go to that, Western States Outdoors, and I'll get some videos up. Thank you.